You said that I love rock and roll, quote, I love folk, I love jazz, I love Indian classical music. I really love all kinds of music as long as it's authentic and from the heart. So when you play rock versus jazz, you played all kinds of music. What's the difference technically, musically, spiritually for you?
Well, there's no spiritual difference.
Okay. All right. Cross that off the list.
But well, musically, yeah, it's kind of like what we were saying earlier. It's like each genre has its language of what makes it that genre.
Mhm.
And that would be a good thing to say. It's defined by the do's and don'ts. Because yeah, it's like I'm trying to think. Basically, I put the song first, and I think of the song as the melody, the lyrics, and then the harmony, and obviously the groove.
So the song goes before the genre in a sense. Each song is like its own thing.
They're both things that are held in my mind. It's like, okay, genre and then song, which is comprised of those basic, elements. And I tend to kind of prioritize lyric because somebody is trying to express something over music. And so that the lyric is very, very important. And so then the choices come from there. It's like, okay, within the genre of X, this is the typical language.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do I best serve this lyric? And then where else can I pull from that might not be in these two bags that would put a little twist on it?
Mm-hmm.
So those are all the kinds of things I might be thinking about. But I don't like twists for the sake of twists either. I like twists because I want to hear something that might be fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone does something just to be hip,
Mhm.
it's annoying to me. I think you can hear the difference. It's like when people they write in odd time signatures, or like they write all these riffs just because they can, just because they have the chops to do it, or they know how to play in 11/16 and whatever. But it's like, but if it's not actually creating a piece of music that's going to move somebody, then why are you doing it? And so I think a lot of the questions I'm asking myself when I'm approaching a song are mainly philosophical and aesthetic.
So you like to stand on the edge of the cliff, not for the thrill of it, but because that's where you find something new,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah. And it's thrilling.
But you're not doing it just for the thrill.
I'm not doing it for the thrill. It just
But it
happens to be thrilling.
All right.
Because you can always reel it back in.
Can you though?
Yeah, you can.
No.
You can do a totally disciplined, I can go into a session and, okay, my favorite thing about going into a session with musicians that I adore is that we don't hear the demo. Because if you hear a demo, you're hearing what the producer or songwriter have already imagined that every instrument is playing. And then it's like, well, I've already heard what you want. Now part of my mind is focused on what I already know you want and what the destination is going to be. Why did you bring me in here? I want to not hear it. I just want you to sit at a piano and sing the song I want to hear the chords and the lyric, and or sit at an acoustic guitar, play it, and then let's all go in the room and then take one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 80% of the time, take one has the most gold. And there might be a mistake or two, or someone forgot to go to the B section, and you might want to punch that in so that you're hitting the right chord. But all the magic is in that take. And then sometimes it happens where it's you go, it's we're rehearsing and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're thinking about it too much, and then you go and you have a dinner and you come back and the next take one after dinner is the one. Yeah. It's usually after there's some sort of a break. Mm-hmm. But obviously there's exceptions to that rule. Sometimes it's take 2 and 3.
Yeah, you said that this is something that surprised you about recording with Prince, is that he would just, so much of it would be take 1. So quick, it would just move so quickly.
Yeah. Well, with that particular album that we made together, it's called Welcome to America. He called me up and asked me, he said, I want to make a band with you. I'm like really inspired by what you're doing with Jeff Beck. I want to make a trio. Do you like the drum rolls of Jack DeJohnette? Was like his first question to me. I'm like, well, yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't like Jack DeJohnette, like one of the greatest of all time? And he's like, well, you know, sounds like, because we had a discussion about drumming, sounds like you're kind of particular about drummers. So why don't you find us the drummer, and I'll trust you to find the drummer. You can audition some people, send me some recordings, and maybe your two favorites, and I'll pick out of the two or something. So I did that. Went on a journey, found a couple guys. He picked the one. We went in, and he basically just would be like, okay, so the A section is going to go like this, and then the B section, I think we're going to go to G and da da, and then the bridge, I might go to B flat, but maybe I'll hold off and da da da. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
And then we recorded it to tape. There was no punch. He did not want me to punch anything. Like it was like, and there was one song called "Same Page, Different Book,"
Mm-hmm.
and he like talked through it just like he did. And then he had me soloing between each phrase, like little fills. It's like I didn't know that was going to come up, and he loved that. He loved that to have me on the edge of my seat, like falling off the cliff. That was my first like real like falling off a cliff moment from somebody else holding me at the edge of the cliff. You know what I mean? Now I just do it on my own because it's so fun and makes sense. It's the best thing for the music.
When you say punch the tape, is that when you actually record it?
Like if you record to tape and there's like, say like you hit a bum note, like to punch in means to like fix that note, like re-record over that one little area and punch that note in. He didn't want that. He's like, all my favorite records just like whatever happened. That's that moment in time. Let's make a new moment in time. It's great. Nobody makes records like that anymore. Everyone wants to like, edit and re-record and this and that. And unfortunately, with a lot of music, and I'm not saying all music because there's plenty of great music coming out, but there's the danger of it being flat because every little imperfection is digitally removed.
Well, that's one of the promising things about AI is because it can be so perfect that the thing will actually come back to and value about music is the imperfections that humans can create.
Yeah.
There'll be a greater valuation of imperfections.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of program imperfections too.
Yeah, sure. That's also very sad. But then you get closer and closer to what it means to be human. And maybe there'll be AIs among us. They'll be human, flawed like the rest of us. Mortal and silly at times.